They raised $2 billion. $2 billion. Before a single product was shipped, before a single customer paid them anything. And in 12 months, it was gone. I'm going to show you exactly how that happened, because the number that killed this company isn't the one you're expecting. Stay with me until the 3-minute mark, because I'm going to give you the exact financial signal that predicted this collapse, 6 months before it happened. If you run your own company, or you're planning to raise, this will change how you think about your burn rate, permanently. So, let's jump to it. Thinking Machines Lab, founded in late 2024 by Mira Murati, former CTO of OpenAI. She left one of the most powerful AI companies in the world to build something new. And she didn't just raise money, she raised $2 billion in a single seed round at a $12 billion valuation. Investors included Andreessen Horowitz, Nvidia, AMD, the best names in the business, and everyone, including me, was watching. Now, here's the first thing I want you to understand. That money wasn't a sign of strength. It was a pressure gauge. And the pressure started building immediately. Here is the number nobody talks about. When you raise at a $12 billion valuation on a $2 billion round, you haven't just raised money, you've made a promise. Your next raise needs to happen at a higher valuation. Your progress needs to justify $12 billion. Every month you don't ship is a month your investors calculate how far behind you are. And in January 2026, the CTO, co-founder Barrett Zoff was fired. Not resigned, fired, for alleged misconduct. And within 48 hours, he walked straight back into OpenAI, taking 2 more co-founders with him. The talent that justified the $12 billion valuation, gone, in 48 hours. Now you might think, that's a Silicon Valley problem, not a GCC problem. Let me show you something. In February 2026, MENA startup funding dropped 42% in a single month, from $562 million in January to $326 million. The UAE still led with $162 million, but that number is down 38% year on year. This matters because the dynamic is identical. When the market gets nervous, when geopolitical risk rises, when global investors pull back, the first thing that stops is late-stage funding. And the companies that raised at inflated valuations during the hype cycle, they are the most exposed. Because they cannot raise the next round without hitting a number they cannot reach. So what is the signal? What on earth should you actually be watching? 3 numbers. First, your valuation to revenue multiple. If you raised at a multiple higher than 30 times your annual revenue, you need a crisis plan for your next round. Most founders don't have one. Second, your key person dependency ratio. If 3 or fewer people hold the technical knowledge your company depends on, you are 1 resignation away from the same collapse Thinking Machines just experienced. Third, your runway visibility. Not just how many months of cash you have, how many months until your next raise needs to close. If those 2 numbers are within 90 days of each other, you are already in danger. Run these 3 numbers on your company today, not next week, today. The Thinking Machines story isn't a warning about AI. It's a warning about building on hype instead of systems. $2 billion didn't save them. Systems would have. I'm Emilian from Solor Labs. Build systems, not dreams. See you next Tuesday.